Okay, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to get started on some of these cases where we're dealing with exponents, both positive and negative, and how they can be rewritten or re-represented. In this case, if you stop and think about it, this is in the wrong place in the fraction. Oops. I'm not sure why that's not. So that's the same as that. So if we want to turn that over, that's our solution. Not very difficult. And again, here we have a fraction, and they both have negative exponents. So we're going to flip them over. So z to the 9th over w to the 4th. All right, remember, anything except 0 raised to the 0 power is 1. And here I have this negative 5 on the exponent. So this one is still positive, so I'm going to go ahead and leave that as it is. It's a to the 5th, and then this becomes a to the 5th. That becomes a to the 10th. All right, moving along here, I am going to write this out, and it feels like it's going to be a lot, but when we reduce it, I think it'll make it clearer why these things are the way they are. So I'm going to have my 2x, and then my y, I'm going to show that I'm multiplying that by itself 3 times. My minus 3, and then here, my x's are in the wrong part of the fraction, right? So here I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. X is in the denominator, and then my y. So before I go any further, I'm going to just quick go in here and change the color for a second, because I want to cancel out any of the x's that I can. So those two are gone. So here I have my 2 times a negative 3. Remember, I can do that because of the commutative property. And then I've got my 4 y's that I'm multiplying. And then I've got my 4 x's yet that I'm multiplying. So now I can collect everything together. I'm going to have a negative 6 y to the 4th x over the 4th. All right, and just to save a little bit of time, I had set up some of these problems a little ahead of time. So here I have 47 over x raised, the whole thing is raised to the 3rd power. So I basically spelled it out. There's my 47 over x, 47 over x, 47 over x. Well, remember, numerators, you multiply them across, so I'm going to have a 47 to the 3rd, and then I'm going to have an x to the 3rd. So this kind of explains the process of how we can go from here to here. And this next one is very similar. Here I have exponents happening inside the parentheses, and then I have an exponent, I'm raising it to the power of 4 everywhere. So here I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 12s. So I'm going to have 12 to the 4th. And I'm going to have 3, 6, 9, 12 x's. So it's x to the 12th. Here I'm going to have 4 y's. So I have y to the 4th. And then the z's, I'm going to have 8 of those because I have 2, 4, 6, and 8. All right. So that kind of makes it a little easier to see how we can go from this to this. Similar circumstance here. I am going to go with the fact that we've got 42 squared x to the 6, because I have 3 sets of 2, so I'm going to have a 6. And I've got a 7 squared, and I have an x that I am going to square. All right, so if I didn't, there's actually something I could have done here, and I'll address that quickly. But what you can do at this point is you can say, okay, I have 2 x's that I can cancel out of here. So I'm going to cancel that and cancel that. That's gone, right? That's a 1. And this is a 4. My x to the 4th now. And then 7, remember this is a 7 times 6, right? That whole thing is squared. So I can pull that apart. So you could take this and get rid of the 7 in the numerator as well. All right, so then this becomes 6 squared x to the 4th. All right. The other thing I could have done is if I spotted this ahead of time, I could have simply said, this is the other way, I could have said 42 divided by the 7, and then I have an x cubed over an x. So I can pull that. That becomes a 6. And then I have the x squared, and that whole thing is squared. So that would give me 6 squared, or 36, x to the 4th. All right. If you have any questions on these and you're not sure, feel free to go ahead and ask me questions. I am happy to answer them. Okay, here's another one where I can see that I have some things I can cancel out. I have a 12 that I can cancel out of both of the 144 and out of the 12. So I'm going to have a 12, and then here my 3, I have a 3 here and a 4 here on my x's, so that means I have an x in the remainder, and I'm done. That's as far as I have to go. And that's it.